Welcome to the Chill Zone.
Help us celebrate you.
On the Chill Zone.
1076, if you're joining us, welcome to the Chill Zone. My name is Danny right here, and I'm with Mariama. Yes, we are the Chill Zone. And we are actually we have on the hot seat Mr. Yusupha Sama. Well, Mr. Yusupha Sama is an amazing photographer. He's also into web designing. He's into branding. He's into photography. He has had the chance to. He's basically a creative mind, an amazing a poet as well, which we feel like all of these things we'll be able to discuss with on the show today. But yes, welcome to the show, bro. What's up?
Welcome, Yusuf. Good to have you on the Chill Zone.
Thank you.
But we need you to relax.
I'm relaxed.
You know, you all of us above you.
I don't look relaxed.
No, you're relaxed. Don't mind, Danny. You're really relaxed.
You started off in 2011.
Yeah.
And since 2011, it's been a bumpy road for you.
Quite a ride.
You have a wife now. You have a child now.
Hey.
You are the father of Habib. You know, it's amazing. But I swear. So originally you're Gambian Nigerian, and how do you balance the two?
I would say it's quite an experience, but I think both feeling or being part of both sides actually contribute to so much that I am today.
Okay.
Yeah, although I grew up in Nigeria, but coming to Gambia, I found a lot of peace. And yeah, I think it actually contributed to everything that I'm doing right now. And
okay.
yeah, living with my mom, living with my dad are separate words, and they're both designers at some point. But,
yes.
Really? You come from a family of designers?
You see?
just like that. So it runs in the family, basically.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So wait, what's one of the things that you learned from your father? Because if they to ask you today, what's one thing that you learned from your father? What would that be?
Composition.
Wait, it's composition as in composition of words?
In terms of creativity.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Composition, of objects, colors, and balance of things, and designs.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I think because he's an artist. My dad himself is an artist.
Okay.
And then he has this very unique way of painting. Yeah, very unique way of painting and realistic way of painting also. So it actually helped me a lot to balance things whenever I'm designing, because I started under him at first. As I didn't even know I was going to be a designer, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question because what happens most of the time is when your parents or your father most of the time have a craft or they're gifted with a certain gift,
Exactly.
they want their children to inherit it and
True.
keep it going. So was that the situation with you or you choose to?
Actually, I chose to, but my dad wanted me to do it.
Okay.
You understand? But my mom didn't want me to do it at all. She saw a doctor in me.
Hey!
See how parents just create.
Yes, no, but especially in Nigeria. In Nigeria, if you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer, bro.
You're not on the list.
Banking and finance, bro. I beg go and do what are you doing? What are you doing?
Politician.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was supposed to study medicine actually. That was my field. That was where I was actually really good at and all of that. But when I came to Gambia and that was the first time I actually saw my dad. So I was inspired by the way he worked, and then using Corel Draw, I was like, oh, you can actually take someone's picture and edit and change the background. Wow, that was at 2010. So I was like, so you can do all of these things? So I was really inspired, and then I was like, you know what, let me try these things myself. Still, I hadn't changed my mind to do graphic design or whatever.
Right.
I was still going to do medicine. But along the line, I was like, you know what, if I'm going to be happy in life, this is really what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to be happy doing and not even regretting in any way. Yeah, I'm good, medicine, science, and all of that, but in terms of being happy for life, this is what I would love to do. And then
how is important how important it is for people to follow their passion, or especially not really passion, but doing things that will make them happy. How important it is to an individual.
I think it's everything. I think it's everything. There are, when things like this, you have a lot of forces pushing you left and right.
Yes.
People's advice because of their own experiences and all of that. But the truth is, if you don't follow your passion, you're going to be the one living it at the end of the day. You understand? In those quiet moments when no one is around, when you're constrained and all of that, you're still going to be the one living it. So imagine if you live in something that you're actually happy with, that no one calls you and you don't even have to get tired or get stressed up when you're doing the work or something, then that's definitely what you should be doing. You understand what I mean? Because it's more like what your path has been set to. You understand what I mean? Everybody's unique based on that. We all can do certain things similar and all of that, but your talent is what makes you unique, and finding it is something really difficult sometimes to set. Some people find it when they're very young, but some find it when they're actually old.
When it's
the
too
truth.
late.
Yeah, some stubbornly just ignore until they actually get to some certain age where they can make decisions for themselves.
But creativity in what you do is key. You need to have a very creative mindset with your work so you can stand out.
Exactly.
How do you explore that creativity out of yourself?
I learned to listen to my mind a lot. I learned to listen to my mind and approach everything uniquely.
Okay.
So I shut down every other thing and focus on exactly what I'm working on. That's how I work, actually. And I get inspiration online. I follow a lot of big names and all of that in terms of designs and photography. But at the end of the day, I fall back to myself and imagine how did they get there to inspire me?
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Yeah.
True.
And then I try to actually create within myself and then feel things. I feel things my own self in my own way. You understand what I mean? Yeah.
Now, we have over a period of time heard the fact that everyone in Gambia is now a photographer. Now, if you check on Twitter, everyone is posting pictures of the sunset and the beach and some of the exotic places in Gambia. But one of the things that have stood out, that still stands out, is the graphic part of it. How do you bring that? How do you make a picture mature? And when it comes to also the billboards and branding and whatnot, your work has stood out. I mean, we're looking at the fashion weekend. We looked at the Gambia Fashion Award and some of the other major shows in Gambia. I mean, you branded the event. How does that feel? How does that make you feel now that there's so many people just nonchalantly just get into the craft for the pleasure of it? Does it affect you?
No, I don't think it does. I think, to me, I'm happy that it's actually happening.
Okay.
Because then there's not going to be competition. You understand what I mean? It's going to be a lazy man's work or something. So seeing a lot of people coming up, it's a good sign. It means they see worth and value in that field.
Sure.
You understand? So so many minds may come up. Some might not be brushed up or really good at it and all of that. But I think along the line, they're going to get used to it. You understand? And it opens door for more opportunities. You understand? And then make people get more creative. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Make people get more creative. I think, there are a lot of people actually going into it, and just owning a camera makes you a photographer at some point. You understand? Yeah.
That's how you get it.
Just take the title like that.
But I think also photography is something that almost everyone loves.
True.
Yeah.
At some point, whether with your phone or something. So when you have a hold of something you can actually use to take a photo, and it seems professional a little bit.
Right. Okay. Where my market don't say.
No, I believe everyone takes photos.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like me, I take a lot of photos.
Exactly.
I take
See,
a lot
but you
of
take
photos.
too many photos. Not a lot is an understatement. Just say you take pictures all the time.
Yeah, but it's healing also. I mean, it's very healing that you're able to take a snap of is surrounding you
Exactly.
and in your in your
Telemoment.
times
Exactly.
you can look
Telemoment,
back
yeah.
at those images. They're
Exactly.
memories, they're fun memories that you can always look back at.
Of course.
And it's therapy actually. I think I've read about it some time ago that the more photos you take, the younger you live as well.
Of course.
Because it's healing. These are like
I know,
memories that
exactly.
would heal you in
Helps
the
you keep
process.
track of,
Yeah.
of your progress
Yeah,
and everything.
it's just like dancing. Like everybody keeps saying, "Mama, feature, I can't dance," but you can dance. You
course,
got
of
moves.
course.
Yeah.
They might not be
No matter how
professional.
ugly it is.
Yeah, you still have.
Look,
moves.
there's no such thing as professional dancing. Dancing is dancing. It's just that people. I mean, they've been able to create create a path. They've been able to make some dances mainstream. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's bad. Whatever you're doing, you can create yours, and once it
becomes a
goes viral,
Exactly.
then all of a sudden
This
that's
kinky
mainstream.
dance is the worst dance move
like
I've
who
ever
said-
seen.
It's like
But it went
who
viral.
gets there first? Or something.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
some people are still. I mean, Shaku Shaku came out
I know.
since. Some people still don't even understand what.
How to do Shaku
Like they don't even know what happens to your
can't.
body when
I
you're
can't.
Shaku Shakuing. But you've tasted both worlds. I mean, you've tasted living in Nigeria. You've tasted being in Gambia as well. What's one thing that, especially in the branding and media sector or industry, that Gambia could learn from Nigeria?
I think paying attention to details,
Okay.
colors. Yeah. Sorry, I'm being specific about
No, but yeah.
colors. I think is a big thing here. Colors, composition. You know, I mentioned the word composition at
Yes.
the beginning. But
Yes.
it's
That you
broad,
learned
yeah.
from your father.
Exactly, it's broad. It's what helps you to balance things up and then psychologically fit people's mind. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the colors and paying attention to details really matters a lot, and I think that it's lacking here in the Gambia.
Mm-hmm.
Although so many people are actually now getting abreast with it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually lacking here. Paying attention to details and creating a lot of importance to whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if so many other people are doing it or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the importance you create or you put into whatever you're doing is gonna add value, and it tells a story. That's why when you see someone's work, you can easily relate to it without even asking the person who did it.
Sure.
You understand what I mean? There's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those details matters. It's more. It's not like going to like a company and they make a template design, and everyone uses that template design.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel so much to it. You understand what I mean? But if you have someone create something for you with concentration,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised at the outcome. It might look similar, but there will be something that you can tell that makes a difference or connects to people. I think that's
But when it comes to your own creativity, how independent are you with your own, let's say, your own designs? Because certain people here, we copy a lot, in Gambia. I will see a work of someone and then I'll come to you, Yusuf, I want you to do this work exactly
Exactly.
like this.
I hate that.
I see a photograph of Danny and I want a photo shoot
Exactly.
like Danny's.
I hate that.
But if you're put in that situation, what do you usually advise your customers?
I actually sit you down and talk to you. First, I like to know where my key point is. Where if you're not aiming at something for whatever you want to do, I'm not the type that would do your work.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, there are a lot of people, but I'm not the type that I want it to be that you're doing is you want to achieve this actually. You understand what I mean? You want to touch someone, or you want to touch people, you want to move to the next level.
Yeah.
You understand? So I can't just take the work that way without talking. I have to actually talk to you and understand why you need it. Otherwise, it's not really about the money. Yes, it's about the money actually. You understand? But what leads to that is wanting to move to the next level. You understand what I mean? So most times when clients approach me, or I approach clients or whatever way it is, I try as much as possible to understand why they're doing what they're doing.
But how about, do you try to advise them that it's important for them
I
to stand
always do.
out? to be different.
It's stressful sometimes.
I can imagine that.
Especially in Gambia, once someone has made up their mind,
That's a major headache.
boy, there's nothing that
No
can
lack
change
of
that.
gay.
Wow.
I'm not paying for
Yes,
it.
Mama, why would
That
you
is
tell
what I
me?
want.
Yes, why are you telling me that this is
Exactly.
wrong? So we have Yusupha Sama right here with us to talk to us pretty much about a lot of great things. So if you're actually just joining us, he's a creative designer, he's a photographer, and he's actually a performing poet right here. He has actually excelled in the creative world over here in Gambia. His work stands out, it speaks for itself. And he's great. He's great when it comes to Adobe Photoshop, Corel Draw, Adobe Illustrator, the web designing, social media advertising, printing design or print design for billboards, magazine, brochure, catalogs, stationaries, etc. Corporate identity branding, logos, business cards, letterhead, brochures, and etc. He's an amazing indoor and outdoor photographer. He covers events like weddings, fashion events, private portfolio. If you want one, you can actually contact him. Family portraits. You need to see his family portrait, by the way.
I know. Come on, they always have the best of everything.
When I see Kenny's family portrait, Kenny, you are not fair.
I mean,
Why would your family portrait look better than my picture? I don't like this.
What do you expect?
You say your go get a wife and have a family and see your family portrait.
No, but I want to have portrait of myself. I'm just saying though. I'm in the process. Legite. One day you just wake up. One day you just wake up like
We
this.
want to do a celebrity wedding.
No, nobody's doing it. I'm not doing a celebrity wedding.
You want to do it ST style?
Yes, just one day you just wake up, and it's out it has happened.
I like that too.
We played Fever by Wizkid over here. We played Mayokong Posh. Nila is Alubrik featuring Wally Seka. But now this morning, Wizkid with the Fever video came out and shattered the internet. He has Tiwa Savage in the pool. They are doing things. They are in the bed doing things, robbing, romanticizing. They just they cut the part where his lips touch her lips. I don't know why they keep doing that.
For kids.
Yeah. on that age. But the video is as exotic as it could be. Do you understand? Do you think they're in a relationship? Do you think it's probably publicity stunt?
Nigeria is sometimes they take advantage of certain things. Actually, I think they're in a relationship.
Okay. You think Tiwa has tasted the cocoa? The star boy.
Is Tiwa finally because I heard
she's
rumors that
divorced?
she was back to her marriage.
She was back, but I don't know recently if she's back, but I'm not sure it's really as smooth as it used to be. You understand? But for her to do such a video, she must be free from every attachment, entanglements, anything, any strings. They must be ready for the media for
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
You understand? They must be ready for the media for this, and there's no way she can defend herself. Just saying, "Oh, this is just some regular
video.
I just model for whiskey and all of that." It can't be so in Nigeria now.
I know.
The story can just die.
Cause she look like on the bed. She look like his mother. Cause she's yeah.
Man, you're so crazy.
Tiwa is 30.
You look like a small
No,
boy.
yeah, Tiwa is 37, almost 38 years old. And Wizkid is about 27. It should be 26, 27.
Does that matter again?
No, I know. No, it's not. I'm not talking about the age difference, but I feel also the size matter. The woman look correct. Whiskey look like he's like their doctor's son. Like he wake up, like mother wake up for morning and then her son is on top of her, and she's just rocking him.
Trying to bring out old times.
With her nice claws, her nice claws. Just say, so my son, just sleep in the pool. You're in the pool with your mommy, and she's just enjoying enjoying nice time. But for celebrities, do you think we all as celebrities you need to do the extreme in order to stand out?
I don't think you need to, but I think the game that's going on right now in social media, it's almost like anything.
Like you need to have like a dick pic For people to start following just for no reason.
You need to have what?
A dick pic. Like have your penis out there in the internet. So for people to be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You're like, yes. It's like
Yeah.
the Love and Hip Hop lady, I forgot what her name is, who just bleached. She was extremely dark and she just
Ali
all of a
forgot.
sudden just bleached. And right now she just, she's accepted. It's like, oh yeah. Her name is Hazel. Hazel, actually, yeah. So her name is Hazel. So she was a melanin queen, and all of a sudden she is looking like Lil Kim now.
Seriously.
Yeah, we have that in our industry here all the time. Nancy Nance was super black. Now she's super white. I saw her on Instagram. I couldn't just believe it.
I was not here though.
No, Nancy looks
But you know her, right?
Of course I
I
know.
was like, yeah. It's like, girl, you look. I'm like,
Yeah, and she used to be a very black, beautiful
I
woman.
know. I think that's also a big problem here.
Yeah.
Do you think it's complex? Do you think it's just inferiority complex, sort of, or is
Yes, inferiority complex, one, and just following the trend.
peer pressure?
Yeah, peer pressure, exactly.
But as a photographer, will you go the extra mile if models or individuals want to do nude photo shoots?
I love to do nude
So I'll
stuff.
go extra mile.
How
Yeah.
much are they
I
paying
don't
you?
mind.
Let the money just
But
go.
nude photos,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it because of just nude. There has to be a creativity. to
Okay,
it.
attached
It
to
has to
it.
be an art.
So you just can't it just can't
So
be
even-
somebody coming take their clothes off and you just take pictures.
No. Sometimes I have to actually make them wear something that's they don't feel
Too naked.
exactly.
Okay, to
And then I
expose
do the
basically.
others and post production.
Okay.
You understand?
Nice. So into the fashion world, like we said earlier, what's your view on it? How's the growth been to you so far? What do you think has changed since you started off in 2011?
A lot has changed actually. The awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, the awareness and the respect for that industry. But I think a lot still needs to be done.
Right.
A lot.
In
still
what
needs to be
aspect?
done. In terms of how how would I put it now? Professionalism.
Right.
One, and the zeal to learn more. Because so many people feel when they're there, they're just there.
We have arrived at.
Yeah, we have arrived. So there's no space to learn more and all of that. They feel they're all celebrities now. You understand what I mean? But the truth is, you're really not yet. You understand what I mean? So so far, the awareness is really good, but in terms of professionalism, it's not. Still up and down. You
Okay,
understand?
but you've had the chance to attend a lot of beauty pageants here and there. We have the Gambia Fashion, the Gambia Fashion Weekend, Fashion Weekend Gambia, scheduled in December. I feel is on the 8th and the 9th
Yes.
of December. Each and every one of you are invited, by the way. And some of the major events. Now, what's the difference between all of this?
You mean the difference between the
Yeah, the fashion events and the pageants.
pageant and fashion? Fashion is more like showcasing.
Yes.
Pageant is more like talent mixed to it. You understand what fashion? You understand what I mean? It's not just straight showcasing. You understand what I mean? It has to be like a talent show. You understand, mixed with fashion. And I think they missed that view now. It's more now like you just come with outfits, 4 different outfits, you understand, or 4 different looks, and then you make a talent show or whatever. It's not really, the real purpose is not there. Even in the selection process, it's not there. It's just based on height these days, you know, complexion. That's where the selection comes in at some point. So, but most times when I do watch, I do purposely attend sometimes silently.
Just to
Silently actually, I just to see exactly how much they've improved and all of that. And most of them have actually improved, but I'm sorry to say, but I'm not too impressed.
Okay.
Yeah. Now there's one thing when someone tells you you're not doing really good, it's for you to actually do more.
Exactly.
You understand? I think they also miss that here. It's like, come, are you trying to tell me that I'm not good or something? You understand what I mean? But trust me, they still need a lot of work here. A lot of work. There's one thing about concentrating yourself and then building yourself. you can never fail on that. If you pay more attention to yourself in words and then build yourself, you cannot fail on that. It's not possible. So individually and corporate wise, I think that should be done.
No, I mean that is very true, especially within us young people. There's a lot of complex.
Exactly.
Especially if you're working within a team and then you try to put across certain opinions or certain points. Like for instance, you have a group and then there's a leader. When someone from the bottom wants to make a point, everybody will shut that person down. The leader will always want to have the last say and have the decision made. And this is how we build dictators. This is how we build poor leaders at the end of the day. You don't even realize that you are doing that. But you need to learn to listen. You need to learn to understand that when people tell you certain point of views, it's not because they're trying to bring you down as a person or as a leader. But because they notice something that they want to be opinionated about or want to improve or want to help or want to grow. But this is one mentality that most of us young people have, and we don't even want to work towards it.
Exactly.
And it affects a lot of things that we do.
But
still we come back and start blaming the people around us. Oh, we're not getting support. Or nobody is helping me. Oh, do gonna feel it. We try to blame other people. When actually you are to be blamed, you need to look at yourself. You need to work. You need to work to develop yourself.
Exactly.
And that comes with discipline also. So in terms of discipline, how have you coped to get to the level that you are at? Sometimes you can have gigs, sometimes you're gonna have gigs.
True.
It can be good sometimes, it can be bad sometimes. I mean, I've seen you with few producers, with few people that you're working with. That shows a level of tolerance to want to team up with other people as well. But in terms of discipline, if you don't have that level of discipline, you cannot team up with anybody.
Of course not.
So tell us what some of the key disciplinary acts or behavior that you have that is keeping you going with your work as Yusuf.
I think the one key thing is consistency and that passion. Yeah, because if everything falls aside, that's what you're left with. If everything falls aside, that's what you're left with. And that's what helps you to be able to work with others. You understand? Without even feeling that, oh, you've been losing or something. You understand? So I think the key is passion and consistency. That's the key. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you're always going to want to improve.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And I think also when money comes in a lot, I experience that when money comes in a lot and you have a lot of responsibilities, your passion dies out a little bit.
Because you want to focus on
the money,
supplying or working for the responsibilities.
Exactly. So you tend not to create more. You understand? You tend not to create more. You tend to just want to hurriedly do something.
Duplicate what you've already done.
Exactly. And I think it affected me at some point.
Like Elijah Manka too.
That's my boss.
Elijah Manka is a great example. We are actually
but it's true.
Manka is so relaxed now.
No, he's
building tummies.
He's like,
he's getting in and out.
So it's important. It's important. It's important.
No, but it's very important. It's very, very important. People, the ability to blend the passion and the income, it's key. You can actually move from really good to really bad.
Yes,
extreme. Because of that. If you're not careful, if you don't assess yourself at some point, because for me, I assess myself almost every day before I sleep. You understand? Even if I'm going to sleep for 3 hours, I have a minute of silence where I actually think,
what has happened?
What can I do better? Okay, I'm bad at this. What can I really? You understand what I mean? So I think if you don't do most of those things, you get lost in the whole circle, and then you get carried away at some point, not knowing the real purpose for why you actually started whatever you're doing.
True.
So when you get lost, and that's it. If you don't recover, it's very difficult most times.
Now we have an issue of we have an issue where a lot of young people in Gambia are going through suffering from depression and anxiety, and it's quite a concern of recent. How do you deal with moments of doubt and fright and and all of those things?
I think the answer, just relax. Yes, that's the opposite of depression or whatsoever.
Have you ever seen a Nigerian man depressed?
Yes, they've begun to they've begun to commit
When you get
suicide.
things to
They are the poorest.
Like-
They're what? They're the third poorest country or the third
No, but
country
the
with
way
more
you
poverty
say
in the world.
relax, like Nigerians,
How do you even relax?
they will tell
Nigerians
you
don't relax
eat
now.
your fufu and just relax. Just relax.
But if you're in Nigeria, your toes are always up.
can't-
like,
You cannot relax in Nigeria. You cannot. In Nigeria, you cannot.
Lagos, nah.
My aunt was telling me a story about a Nigerian man who wanted to commit suicide. So he went to this bridge and he stood there and he said, "People come on, people come, I'm gonna kill myself." And nobody was
Come on,
coming. I
film
said,
this.
"I'm about to jump. You better come on. I want you to witness this yourself." He never jumped because people came and of course, you know what happened. They rescued him.
Oh
So
my God.
Nigerian people are interesting. I
Very,
want to
very
visit that
interesting.
country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
it's
if you do, I think to me the experience from there helps me a whole lot.
True.
Because over there the competition is really high.
high, extremely.
Yeah, like during the day you don't see people at home that much. They always, even from school, you're going to your mom's shop or you're going to meet whatever, but you're not going home straight.
Nah.
You're going to do something. Even if you're going home, you're going to prepare probably lunch or whatever, and then take it to your parents or whatsoever it may be. You understand? Some of them, their parents are not even with them. They're all working. You understand? Most of those rich people and all of that. But because of the competition, because of that tight schedule, it makes people very agile, and then they want to create.
Do you think Gambians are lazy? Would you consider Gambians to be lazy?
I don't think Gambians are lazy
Okay, tell me why.
because when I say Gambian, it's the taxi man I'm actually looking at. It's those people who actually say, trust me. I walk around Gambia and I see a lot of guys hustling. Do you know Gambians are very good at marketing?
Are you sure it's Gambians? Because I'm telling you, this are not Gambians.
No,
so this
that-
is,
no, as
this,
in what- no.
It might be Senegalese. Because
You
if
don't
a Senegalese
understand.
sell churai to you,
Let
you
me
will
tell
buy
you
it.
something. Gambians are very good at marketing.
Right. Why would you say that?
I've gone through so many whatever
Ups and downs,
Exactly,
scenarios,
yeah.
experiences. Yes.
Certain people, and the average man can actually sell something to you, and you will buy it without even knowing most times.
Right.
If you really go in, when they say Gambia, it's not about just go in to the market. You understand what I mean? To the provinces. That's when you will know really.
Right.
You understand what I mean? There's sometimes when I go for a trip or something, or like a tour or action aid and all of that,
Right.
I realize these women that are working over there at the provinces, they work so hard and they know what they are doing.
Yeah.
As they know it so deep that you can sit with them, they can actually explain everything to you in process that you will think you don't know anything at all.
True.
You understand what I mean? You think you don't know anything. I think because of the thought of dependence makes them look lazy.
Right.
But if they really settle down, or if a Gambian is well brought up from young in a different environment, you'll be shocked at what that person can do.
Now, we have an issue in Africa where we are told that wealth dies with the wealthy person. It doesn't really trickle down to their generation. So the question is, if we, for example, we have, you could have your grandfather could be like a millionaire, had a lot of money, and did not allow your father to they want your father to go hustle as well and get his own wealth, and all of a sudden your father is wealthy now. He wants you as well not to tap into his wealth, to cash. You also have to go from grassroots, collect your own money.
I don't believe in that.
But do you feel like we could have been in a better position to, because you see, for example, companies in the West that are successful, they have been in existence for 200 years, solely because the great grandfather passed it on to the grandfather and passed it on to the father, and now it's at the level where the son is. Do you think, like, for example, in Gambia, if we had such, will our economy be better?
Trust me, it definitely would be better. I think that's also a big problem here too. The rate of support.
Right.
Yeah, it's really poor here. I see most people who are rich, they want to be just rich, but they don't show it psychologically. Like physically, they don't show it. They act like sometimes they are really caring and all of that. But trust me, it's their money.
And they have
I
to.
won't lie to you. Yeah, I've had lots of experience. I'm a Gambian. I have relatives here. You understand? But I don't really look onto them and all of that. There are a lot of rich people here. If the rich people here in Gambia actually learn to support, you see the way the Indians are doing, they bring their brothers all the way from. Yes, they're working as whatever. But trust me, one of them will work to an extent and then leave and then do something else. You understand? But that's not the situation here. It's more likely like you have something doing, and even if your relative is coming to work for you or whatever, it's just some meager thing. It's like trying to make that person suffer
More than
yeah.
the suffering that they were doing before.
Understand that this thing is not easy to get it, but I don't think that's necessary, because at the end of the day, it's one life. You understand? What stops you from just giving some? Yes, they say it creates laziness and then makes you not to understand the value of things and all of that. But there are ways. There's 1,001 ways to do those things. You know, to show someone that hard work is real.
Hard work is real.
Yeah.
Now we have on the, I mean it was on the in the internet yesterday. Our Minister of Tourism and Culture is sending 1,000 youth to Saudi Arabia to go and walk.
To go and walk.
Like we will not get work for this place.
To
Like
go
we
and- to go
will
and
have
walk
too
over
much.
there.
Like the work here, it's
I
enough.
don't understand. Are they sending them, or they signed a memorandum of
Yes,
understanding
for-
between Saudi and Gambia
For 1,000 youth to go work there.
But is the government actually the one sending them? Because from what I understand it's just a memorandum of understanding. So that means now, if you want a job or if you want
Basically.
if you want to go work in Saudi, now you can actually have the freedom
Yes.
to go work to Saudi, but not like government is actually sending people there. I see this misunderstanding going
Yeah,
on
so-
social
so-
media. I think
yes.
people need to understand it.
Yeah.
You know, and I see a lot of people releasing videos. It's an individual choice. The government.
If
I
you
don't-
want
I'm
to
not
go.
Like, I'm not a spokesperson for
Yeah,
the government.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, but it's
I'm
good
just
it's actually
saying.
good to clarify that as
Yeah.
well. Yes.
That's good.
So it's, I think, on individual will, but people are concerned
Yes.
because of history with Saudi and, you know, some of the tragic stories that we've heard of young people being enslaved.
But they just
you know,
killed
they're
the
not-
they just killed
Oh,
a
that is
famous
really-
a
that
famous
is really
journalist.
true.
I mean, they butchered
yeah,
him.
for security reasons, certain people are concerned.
Allegedly,
But
okay.
it's still an individual choice whether you want to
Yes.
go to Saudi or not to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me, I think Gambia should look inwards like a lot. As that should be the primary focus in their head. You need to send people for training and not to go work outside. Whatever connections they're going to be doing with other countries and all of that, it should be more of training where Gambians can actually learn whatever they're doing outside there and come back here and do it. But also, even if you do that, most Gambians would prefer to go and then stay there. Why? Because they don't have that security, that safe heart that when they come back, they're going to get.
That particular job that
opportunity
they
or
went to
jobs,
learn.
yeah.
Yes.
So there has to be a balance between those ends. You understand what I mean?
Sure.
The security that, yes, when I come back, I'm going to get something. You understand what I mean? People are going to respect whatever I'm doing, and I'm going to receive same income, if not close, but you understand what I mean?
I think the government has a lot of work to do in terms
lot.
of, you know, job employment and creating job opportunities for young people. I mean, this memorandum of understanding is good, blah, blah, blah. But again, create job opportunities for young people in the Gambia. That's what we are saying.
We need all of that.
You know,
And then
young
also-
people are trying. We have entrepreneurs. We have
Yourself
yourself
and-
and other
yes.
people. Young people are really
Sorry to
kicking
cut you.
hard.
Yes.
Sorry to
Yeah.
cut you. I still see on the Access Gambia website that the average salary is still 2.5.
Of course. Of course.
That is-
It's gonna
that
take us
is-
a while for that to change.
Certain things
No, but that should have changed by now.
wouldn't change anytime
Well,
soon.
it's not going to change anytime soon.
You know why?
We're looking at the
Because
next
most of these
the
international
next 50
corporations
years.
coming into Gambia. Sorry.
It might actually get worse, like Muna said.
Yeah.
But this international company coming here,
Mm-hmm.
most times when they come in, that's what they look. That's the data they look.
Yes, that's the reason why they're coming
Labor
as well.
in Gambia
cheap.
is actually
Yeah.
cheap.
Extremely.
That's what they say.
Oh my God.
But thank you so much for coming, Yusuf. It was
Yep.
great having you on the Chill Zone. You are such an amazing young man. and just keep your head up. I'm sure you're gonna inspire a lot of young people out there
Yep.
with the work you do.
Inshallah.
And we're glad that you're actually setting up trend for yourself and doing what you love doing. So we wish you success.
Well, you can actually catch him up on his social media handles, which is that's you
Yusgeek.
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 Yusgeek. Yeah. So Yusgeek. Well, thank you so much. God bless. This is Chosen right here. Yes. Look, say hi to Mama. Say hi to Mama Yusuf. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to remind the
And have
listeners,
it.
yeah, that Ibunjan Theatre is going to put up a play on Friday
Yep.
at the Ibunjan Theatre called Hope. It's in relations to women battling with fertility problems. So do not miss out. Yusuf, we hope you're going to come. We saw you at our last production with STJ. So we're looking forward to seeing you this time around as well with
I
Madam.
love such.
Have a nice day. This is the Chosen with Danny and Mariama. Have a nice day.
It's Jill Life Music. Yeah.